What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good, ready to go. We got Nvidia earnings after the bell, so we'll see what the price action of the market wants to do, but more importantly, how Nvidia reports, how they guide, how the market reacts to it, and we'll see the overall effect from Nvidia because there will be one, providing it's just not like it just met expectations and investors are okay with that, and we'll see. But it should have a little spillover to the rest of the market. Otherwise, we got Albert House. Good morning to you. Good morning to Andy, Bill, Emily. Good morning to Frank, J, JT, Lauren, Lucian, Malik in the house. Good morning to Martina, Rob, Shane, Tim. All my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to Joe B. We got M Sky in the house. Good morning to Leonard. All my lurkers in the background. They're just gonna refuse to say anything in my chats. That's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe buttons, but Albert's got some tickers coming in already. Beautiful. We got SPY. Nice little we were looking a little bit better before, but we do have a small little gap up, so nothing too crazy. More notably is we are still opening above yesterday's VPOC into a little resistance though, so probably a little chop. Maybe we come down and maybe we're doing that now, but I'll be looking for a 590, some type of support right around there. If we could get through and maybe we gap up and we're just opening above there before open, but I think if we're opening probably anywhere 593 and higher. I think this gap fill is on the table then. So you got 593.96. And the effect that Nvidia is probably going to have on the market, I think I'd want to stay bullish today. We do usually see the run up into earnings. Today is the day of Nvidia earnings, and if Nvidia could keep going, I think that would probably push the market in a bullish direction. So targets for today: 594.09 on the SPY. We'll see if we get past it. If we can, we got 595. Yeah, right around 595 would be the next kind of stretch target for today. And then who knows where we end up gapping tomorrow coming in. But Lucia says the market seems to be ignoring Putin's nuclear threat. We've seen that until it actually happens, which I hope we don't see it. I hope we never in our lifetimes see a nuclear attack. But yeah, unfortunately we're kind of the markets are almost immune to, like, we'll react to the initial report of missiles and threats and things like that, but for the most part, I think the market is kind of just does its thing until something actually happens. So I hope the market just ignores it, and then I hope there's no there's no actual action that happens. We will see. But it is still continuing. It is still continuing. We got the Qs. Qs are, look at zoom in a little bit more. Depends on where we open on this one, but again, this is now a third day higher for the VPOC on Qs. We are also opening above yesterday's. I think if we come down for a retest, look for some kind of support around 503.22. And right around there, maybe a tad higher, 503.34 should be our support. We want to kind of hang above. Otherwise, wide open gap up above us. Again, if we can get some buying on Nvidia just even ahead of earnings today, I think that will probably push the rest of the market with us. I know there was some earnings that came out today, mostly in terms of retail. So Q's probably little affected by that. SPY probably a little bit more. But yeah, I'd be looking for probably targets up to 510.55. That's a lot of room to move if we are going to stay bullish. You might have some intraday holdups. You might get stuck around 505.66, just kind of coming into the closing price somewhere around there for this November 6th candle. You might see another one up at 508.23, potentially another one up at 508.62. Ultimately, I think all those levels we could probably take out, and then I would be looking for this 510. So if we could get up there, that's a lot of room on the Qs today to keep on pushing. TLT, I think that one was that had a nice gap up yesterday. We've seen it at these levels before, and then it just keeps hanging on. So we haven't died on TLT quite yet. Although we are slightly into a decent support, so again, maybe we could get some kind of rally on this one. Otherwise, pretty deep gap down on TLT, all things considered, of how it moves, and it's just having a tremendous amount of trouble just hanging out a little bit higher and continuing. So we'll see. And you do have some resistance on this one, 90.18 again for the rest of the market. I would like to see TLT kind of push higher. That would, I think, be a little more encouraging that the bond people are not as worried. Maybe the bonds are reacting a little bit more to the Ukraine Russia news than anything else. All right, let's see those tickers. Emily says, "What's up, team? Ready to have some fun? Let's do it." All right, Roku. First one I see is Roku. Crypto still going crazy. I see Joe throwing out coin already. But Bitcoin broke out a little bit last night too. Roku was this? Nope, not earnings. We had a Roku insider sell. Shares worth $1 million according to recent filings. Roku stock nearly priced in with analyst targets amidst strong growth potential. So insider selling, I think, more or less. Decent gap down on this one. You're trapping some bulls. Uh, I think this one, again, two inside candles. You have technically 1, 2, 3 days of selling, two rest days. Maybe you got a little bit of bulls being kind of trapped somewhere above 74.59. I think this one does act a little bit more like a retest gap. That being said, I don't think we're going to retest all the way up to 73.76. Although this market could shock somebody. 72.69 would be a crazy still, I think, retest spot. I think right around this 200. Watch the 69.27 and maybe we even open up above it. We'll see. But then we got resistance. I think 69.40 is really my first resistance on this one. And then if we do go a little crazier, I think the high of today will take us into like $70.60. I think that's the most we see. Again, I'm going to maintain the freedom just to be absolutely wrong if this thing goes completely bullish from here. But I think that's where the max high, if we could get there, $70.60. To the downside, we do have some room there too. So I would be expecting probably how I would look at this one is seeing if we get some quick bidding out of the gates. I don't think I'm going to be in there long. But see if we get to that first kind of VPOG level. And then I'd probably be looking to target right into that one, which would take me to $66.87. But there might be some shorts on this one that are trying to get out. Those 2 days didn't really, I don't think we're trapping too many bulls on it. Not yet. All right. Let's see. We got Hood. Then I guess we'll flip right to Coinbase after this one. We'll also take a look at Bitcoin. Hood, yeah, nice gap up into almost $37. I think we're getting close to my targets. Was it 37 or was it 39? I can't remember. And then for some reason, trading view is massively slow. Yeah, maybe a little bit higher. I got like 37.50-ish. Wow, this is lagging like crazy today. Nope, 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 nope. You got the wrong way. You've done it. You've gone too far. Go back. Go back. There we go. Why? No, stop it. Stop it. Ah, this is crazy. All right, so we're opening at a little bit of resistance. So right here in this 37 zone will be the first one. If we could start to clear out of 37.25, we do still have this wide open gap, and that takes us into that 39.27 zone. So we'll see how this one opens. I believe this is a retest from yesterday as well. Maybe we get a little pullback first, just at that first resistance. And then again, if we can start clearing this 37 range, And then also if I could get my trading view to act like normal, that'd be great. Lots of buyers. Obviously, we've been buying Hood since about $16. If that was you, you're up more than 100%, and you're gapping up into some resistance. I think this one probably pulls back. I would not be a buyer right at open. I don't think unless we start clearing 37.10. Then I think you get some room to the higher side on this one. If we get a pullback, look for some kind of support around 35.76. That'd be an interesting spot to look for a day trade. Again, it's maybe Hood goes absolutely wild and crazy and all that fun stuff. Um, and we're seeing Palantir type moves. I don't think so. You've already had a great move on this one, and then I think even the earnings weren't tremendous, but it is going crazy. You might have some people kind of targeting this zone. So, for a long term, probably in the zone, I wouldn't be buying. But if it pulls back into like a 35.76, that might be an interesting spot for a day trade on it. DKNG. Yeah, I know. We said we're probably going to Bitcoin after this and Coinbase, and then I just forgot. So I went straight to DraftKings. DraftKings also nice little gap up, not bad. We had a potential double top, pretty good close yesterday. We did close above all previous VPOCs of that last pivot at least. Getting a nice open on this one. Targets to the higher side. I think immediate targets probably about $44.26. If we can blow through that one, we got 45.15. Being that there is 2 days of buying, see if this one again wants to pull back a little bit. Look for good support somewhere around $43.01. But nice little gap. Could have turned into a mini double top. And this is after earnings, which is not even showing the after hours on my screen. But after hours, we dipped all the way down to $31 on earnings. And then we talked about that report too. So they put out like, yeah, we're lowering guidance for the next quarter. But then they increased the guidance for next year where EBITDA is coming in 100% of what they did this year. So pretty wild. And I guess the longer term plays are saying, I'll wait. I'll wait for this thing to be profitable. And it turns out they're not waiting too long. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Then we'll flip to Coinbase. Yeah, so good breakout. We were kind of watching this level yesterday. I even tried to take a trade on Coin. We were trying to push. I was like, man, I think we could do it. I think we get above this 92,560 zone on Bitcoin. And then we tried to take a little sympathy on Coinbase that looked like it was consolidated, trying to break out. Ended up breaking down. We get stopped, but it did what I wanted, just not on my time frame. I had to go to sleep first. But good gap up there. New all-time highs. We're closing in on that. And did we hit 95,000? I think we probably fell short. Yeah, we fell just short of 95,000, so a couple $100 away from it. Getting close, but good consolidation, good break. We'll see, providing that this is not closing today as some kind of inverted hammer. We still look fairly good on crypto, and looks like it continues to want to go higher. So let's take a look at some of the plays. Yeah, here's my trade from yesterday. Nice 2R target. Uh, what I meant was it's not a day trade. It was actually a swing trade. That would have worked out great. We'd be over 2 hours at the gate. What are you gonna do? I don't know. But actually, a pretty fantastic gap up on Coinbase. You have some buying, so maybe you get some pullback a little bit, but now you're taking out this candle. We'll see where this one wants to gap. We're gapping outside of this November 13th candle, so somewhere above 332.35. Yeah, this one might get some feet. Start running. 340, good hold number. I gotta add this one to the chart. We now have Bitcoin running, so not bad. If we get a pullback, see if we could hold. See if we get a pullback into like 327.58 if we're opening inside this candle. Otherwise, I might even be looking for a high wave out of the gate on this one. Looks kind of crazy. TGT. Those guys. Those guys. Yeah, they missed on earnings per share. They missed on revenue. On top of that, they also lowered guidance too. So they missed by 19% earnings per share. They missed by revenue wise 200 million. So not a horrible miss on the revenue side of things, but then the lowering guidance on top of it. Miss, lowered guidance, not great. Massive gap down on this one. I think it was down as much as 18%. Yep, looks like it continues to head a little bit lower as well. I don't know. I know this market loves buying dips on everything possible. I think this one probably goes further. You do have a full-on, looks like gap fill down to, that gets us back to previous earnings, somewhere around 110.10. I like this to the short side. Again, is today the day to go short? I don't know. You don't really have much volume, especially once you start breaking down 122.53. So I guess that would be my next target on this one. Probably not today. You're already down 18%, and then you're going another $7 today. But yeah, 110, next target. If you get some kind of a bounce out of the gate, I would be looking for probably this 130, 145-ish as my target. If you're going to play this one bullish, I probably won't. But if it gets to the 131, 45, in fact, what we'll do is set a quick little alarm. And I say quick facetiously because we're already lagging, and then they want me to figure out how to do this real quick. There we go. I'll add an alert right there. Sounds good. So if that one moves a little bit higher, if it does want to retest, but if I can figure out a way to get in that thing short, I don't know who's stepping in to buy it. I don't know what they don't. Where's the story for right now? I don't know what the story is to for the Bulls to get really excited on a dip on this one. They do have dividends, but at this level, it's not really that crazy. I don't know. All right, Tesla. We'll start getting to some of these big boys. Tesla. Yeah, I noticed AI had a good move yesterday too. I didn't see it all day till after hours. They were up pretty decent. I wasn't watching that one whatsoever. Completely missed my screen. All right, we got Tesla. We got a ton of lines on it. Here's another one that probably would have worked out. Actually, I think this one did work for us. Let's see. We got Sessi. Mm, I don't know. I don't know what this one wants to do. Still technically inside, so we had that nice looking gap up. Okay, fantastic. We ran bullish yesterday, not able to break out of that high wave candle. Also, strong resistance being built in, which we did retest the last 2 days in a row. So yesterday and the day before. That's going to take us to 346.84. I think we're looking phenomenal to probably end up breaking through that. You are opening right into a support, so I would have to see where this one opens. And then, even if we start breaking down, you still got secondary support somewhere around 341.83. So I think we're working on building out some kind of support. You did have some volume on that high wave candle. And again, we ran bullish, stayed inside. So maybe a little chop, but I would be looking still bullish. I still like that gap up. Good pullback, nice resting. If I had to pick a direction, it would be to the bullish side. And then we've now retested this spot twice. VPOCs are moving higher. I'd be looking for a little breakout on that one. And then the question is the breakout today? That's the biggest question. I'd still be leaning bullish on Tesla until I don't. But yeah, I'd still have to be leaning bullish on it. And then is today the day we break out? If it's not, I'm expecting chop. I don't think this one breaks down today. We'll see. Maybe after the bell, maybe after Nvidia, which we'll take a look at now. But if we get a full market pullback, then maybe I don't know, that could set up Tesla different. We will see. We got Nvidia. So Nvidia right into earnings. Good run up that we already had yesterday. Uh, Massive resistance everywhere from where we closed yesterday, and I think we're slightly above that one. So I think the next target up, not much room, but that takes us to 147.82, and then we got room up to 148.13. If we, I think if we start breaking this 148.23, it could go, but yeah. Um, this is kind of already your run up that we just did yesterday. Massive move. Good play. Good showing, Nvidia. But now does that lead us to more chop today before earnings, or do we get that continuation? I don't know. I probably won't day trade this one. That is a really good resistance. You already have a lot of bulls that probably don't have to hold into earnings if they did take a trade. Going bullish on Nvidia the last 2 days, they might not want that risk, or at least sell half their position, something like that, and then carry the rest into earnings. But I'd wait. For me, I'd wait and see. I don't have much edge, at least on a day trade for it. We still have earnings tonight, so maybe we get that little extra bullish momentum, and then I think if we start breaking out of there, maybe this thing goes nuts into earnings, which will be really difficult, I think, for Nvidia if that happens, because now you would be sitting at all-time highs, or at least we would have hit all-time highs today, and then you still got to produce really solid numbers and good guidance. I think that would be tough. I don't know. MSTR. Yeah, this one continues to just to absolutely murder it. Again, their micro strategy is just buy some micro bitcoins, and they got a lot of them. They got a lot of bitcoins, and Bitcoin is doing exceptionally well. This one is outpacing. They're outpacing. This is what I don't like on them is they are outpacing the actual asset that they're kind of building. So their valuation is increasing way further than actually Bitcoin is. I think it's about a 3 to 1 for what their actual asset is to where the company is. So it's expensive. It does not mean the selling is going to stop. I mean, the buying is going to stop. I think if Bitcoin keeps going, this thing just keeps accelerating as well. At a probably quicker pace than Bitcoin is. The other side of it is if Bitcoin comes down, Bitcoin you'll probably lose less on Bitcoin than you will this. This will probably pull back pretty quickly. So volatile in both directions. I think if you're owning this one and you start taking gains to put into Bitcoin, you still have exposure to the space. But then if you do eventually get that pullback, you're going to actually be losing a lot less, kind of just rotating MSTR profits into Bitcoin. So I think there's some strategies, gives you still the exposure if you want it. It is extremely high right now. It looks like it's going to keep going, and Bitcoin looks like it's going to keep on running too. They've also set up meetings with and I think we're still in on Microsoft. I just picked up one contract. I don't know what I was thinking. I was looking at a nibble in on Microsoft yesterday, and then I was like, yeah, I'll pick up one contract right off that 200 EMA. Looks good. Then this one started to run. We were up a little bit higher, even pre-market. I think we got to like 420-ish, somewhere in that zone. So it's doing well. Um, but I think Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy is actually trying to set up meetings with the larger companies to encourage them to put Bitcoin in their own portfolios. And if he succeeds with that, and now you got all these bigger, larger Fortune 500 companies sitting there with crypto in their balance sheets, that's either going to be amazing for Bitcoin or horrible for the economy. I'm not sure which one. We'll see how it plays out. But Microsoft, I think they scheduled a meeting with Michael Saylor for next month. I don't know. We'll see. See how that goes. Let's go to Affirm, and then we'll cover LMT. Affirm again, kind of got away from us. It's already up there. I think at this level, you're really asking the markets to just continue to rip. I think if you're trying to buy a firm up here, not saying that it can't go and do a Carvana, get up to the 120 zone, but anything is possible if the scenario that the market keeps going, the buy the dippers are still hanging out, and we are just doing nothing but just we're not even thinking bearish in this market. But I think you are coming a little bit high. If you could get to some of these crazy wild levels, you're still getting a good deal. If you get back to 150, 160, 170, then looking back going, hey, 64 is not a horrible price. You did break out of a great pivot somewhere down at $51. We did keep going. Started breaking through some of that initial resistance. I think the next resistance you're going to face is probably somewhere around 7109. But yeah, for me, I would have to wait for a pullback. Otherwise, it starts getting a little bit. I don't know. I can't control my own nerves, I guess. When I'm like if I was to buy it somewhere in this zone, okay, you have one little dip, who cares, right? You still got that one, we'll call it 150 even target up here. I'm like, you know what? I did my research. I like the company. Who cares? If it comes lower, I've got a good spot to start buying. If it comes lower, I'll buy more, buy more. Now, after this break that we just had, if I'm coming in here, now I'm like, did I do the right decision? Is this the right thing? Then I start getting the panic trades. Then I'm taking calls, puts, covering things that I shouldn't be, because down to here, that's about a 50% loss if we get back. And I really don't want to take a 50% loss, but you still have potentially over 100% gains. So you still have decent risk reward if I think that we could get up here. I don't know if the first time we were up there was a legit pricing or just market excitement to get it up there, but we will see. Otherwise, if you're in it, still looks good. If you're in it, I'd be holding. I don't know if I want to start a new position here though. All right, LMT, LMT. Again, you would think this one would be higher with just the new headlines that we kind of got, the missile attacks, all that not so fun stuff. At this point, we kind of held inside day. We're not really gapping anywhere too crazy, but I'd be seeing if we get down to this 200 line, somewhere down to this 518.82. If a war headline can't start this thing, I don't know what will. But just astonishing bearish pressure on this one. Otherwise, that is the morning bell. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe buttons if you guys have not done so already. But unfortunately, I got to disconnect. You guys are incredible. I'll catch all you guys on YouTube later. Later, guys.